this video is not a farce. It's not a hoax. But the United Nations has decided it's going to create a new nation. Scientists are to launch a new nation in space to make travel easier and to protect Earth from asteroid impacts. Now, we assume that in order to protect Earth from asteroid impacts, this new nation that will be placed above Earth in spaceships is going to have some very mighty, huge, disastrous, nasty weapons to use in order to smash up or deflect these asteroids inbound to impact with Earth. This is an article on the Express UK. It's not a farce. This is reality. This is the latest United Nations projects being put into effect. That's how scared they are of asteroid impacts towards Earth. And let's remember that in about 150 years, we have a probable potential extinction level event coming towards Earth. That's why they're hurrying to make sure they land on something and find some way to destroy it. Now, a group of scientists have announced, this is what they're planning, to create a nation in space. This nation will be independent of any country on Earth, and it will be used to defend the whole planet Earth against asteroid attacks and make space travel more accessible. Let me read that again. Quote, a group of esteemed scientists have announced that they are planning to create a nation in space independent of any country on Earth, which will be used to defend the planet against asteroid attacks and make space travel more accessible. Quote, the international group of scientists gathered at a conference in Paris to announce their plans for the nation, which will be a station in our Earth's orbit. This is an article yesterday, October 12th. The project is dubbed Asgardia. I guess it stands for guard, a guard guarding Earth. I assume that's what it means. So this will be the new created nation, independent of all other nations on Earth, and it will be called Asgardia. The project dubbed Asgardia, and the first satellite is set to launch next year in 2017, and it will comprise the nation itself. So the nation will be in this satellite called Asgardia, one word, creating its own legal framework, its own flag, and any other symbols of nationhood, with the project being developed from there, according to a statement from the team behind Asgardia. The Russian scientist and chairman of UNESCO Science of Space Committee is the team leader, Dr. Igor Ashurbelyi, and he says, quote, the project's concept comprises three parts: philosophical, legal, and scientific technological. Asgardia is a fully fledged and independent nation and a future member of the United Nations, with all the attributes this status entails. So it will be a full member of the United Nations. This is unbelievable, but this is taking place. Quote, the essence of Asgardia is peace in space and the prevention of Earth's conflicts being transferred into space. Asgardia is also unique from a philosophical aspect to serve entire humanity and each and everyone regardless of his or her personal welfare and the prosperity of the country where they happen to be born. The scientific and technological component of the project can be explained in just three words: peace, access, and protection. This scientific and technological envelope of Asgardia is a space arena for the scientific creativity of its citizens and companies in developing a broad range of future space technologies, products, and services for humanity on Earth and humanity in space, end quote. So they will be forever in space. My question is, what happens to their bodies when they start losing their bone structure, their muscle tone, their blood circulation, and start aging faster? I mean, there's going to be a lot of problems with their bodies up there. So going on with this article, one of the aims of this Asgardia project is to, quote, create opportunities for broader access to space, enabling non-traditional space nations to realize their scientific aspirations is exciting, end quote. This is what Professor David Alexander, the director of the Rice Space Institute at Rice University, says. And this project will also be used to protect humanity, as we said, against the threat of deadly asteroids and other, quote, unquote, cosmic hazards, such as, you're not going to believe this, such as rogue satellites. What does that mean? Cosmic hazards such as rogue satellites? Where did they get the idea of rogue satellites? Maybe it was this 1954 news article, artificial satellites circling the Earth. 2 artificial satellites circling the Earth. The Black Knight satellite, said to be circumnavigating the Earth from pole to pole, unlike our main satellites. And this is the Black Knight satellite, the UFO, said to be 13,000 years old. Had recent ISS, International Space Station, images of the Black Knight following it with lights flashing. So it's really frightening. I mean, what is it doing there? What exactly is going on? So this new nation of Asgardia will be used to protect humanity from deadly asteroids and cosmic hazards such as rogue satellites. Could this be one of them? The Black Knight. Dr. Joseph N. Pelton, who was former Dean, International Space University in France, said, quote, the Asgardia project, among other things, may help prepare better answers to the future governance of outer space. Governance of outer space, a topic of major concern to the United Nations. The exciting aspect of this initiative, he says, is its 3-phase approach to providing broader access to space, promoting peace in outer space, and addressing cosmic hazards and planetary defense, end quote. Now, if anybody wants to join this new nation of Asgardia, they say that although only the first 100,000 citizens signing up will be accepted as citizens, anyone can sign up to be part of Asgardia on the company's website. This is not a farce, people. This is real. This is the world that we're living in today. It's really happening very quickly. Something strange is happening with asteroids. Something strange is happening with rogue satellites, cosmic interference, cosmic hazards, and they're setting up a new nation, which will be a member of the United Nations, to supposedly take care that nobody uses and abuses space in order to threaten humanity. Isn't that something? I'll leave a link below for you for this on the Express UK, October 12th.
Fed up with Earth? Why not join Asgardia, the first outer space nation? It's called Asgardia and its creators say it will be the prototype of a free and unrestricted society which holds knowledge, intelligence, and science at its core along with the recognition of the ultimate value of each human life. Named after Asgard, the Nordic mythical city in the sky where Odin and the other Aesir dwelt, Asgardia aims to set a precedent for humans living and working in space. Its main objectives will be asteroid mining and providing the Earth with a line of defense against threats from outer space such as meteorites, asteroids, or man-made space debris. There are no prerequisites to attaining Asgardian citizenship. Their website states that any human living on Earth can become a citizen of Asgardia. If you'd like, you can join the space venture following a link below this video. The ambitious project is not just for show. Asgardia's founders are planning the launch of a satellite in 2017 to 2018, but the program's full scope and magnitude will become obvious in the years to come. Asgardia is a fully fledged and independent nation, and a future member of the United Nations with all the attributes this status entails, said Asgardia founder Igor Ashurbalai. The essence of Asgardia is peace in space and the prevention of Earth's conflicts being transferred into space. The next step after launching a satellite would be the construction of a permanent base in orbit around Earth. Once the base is populated and operational, Asgardia could be on the fast track to becoming an autonomous space nation. This enthusiastic enterprise is benefited by the expertise of several big names in the field of space exploration. Its founder, Igor Ashurbalai, is a Russian businessman and scientist known for his interest in bold aerospace strategies. He is joined by the directors of space institutes from several major universities. Together, they plan to offer an independent platform free from the constraint of a land-based country's laws. But these are all big words, part of a big plan that will need the backing of even bigger bucks to lift its own weight off the ground. And while Ashurbalai is so confident in the program's success that he kickstarted it using his own money, Asgardia will probably need to raise hundreds of millions of dollars to see its first wave of objectives complete. Launching something larger than a football field into low Earth orbit costs a pretty penny. By comparison, the International Space Station cost $150 billion to build and operate, and it was a joint effort between NASA, JAXA, the Canadian Space Agency, the European Space Agency and the Roscosmos State Corporation. Granted, the cost of producing materials and getting them into orbit has dropped since work began on the ISS in 1985, but that does not make Asgardia a less daunting task. Despite the technical, logistical and, especially, legal hurdles, Asgardia or something similar was bound to happen this decade. With all the other ambitious plans and the renewed interest in space exploration, it was just a matter of time before someone tackled the whole nation in outer space thing. Whatever outcome it might have, Asgardia will definitely pave the way for any venture that aims to create a home away from home in outer space.
This video is not a farce. It's not a hoax. But the United Nations has decided it's going to create a new nation. Scientists are to launch a new nation in space to make travel easier and to protect Earth from asteroid impacts. Now, we assume that in order to protect Earth from asteroid impacts, this new nation that will be placed above Earth in spaceships is going to have some very mighty, huge, disastrous, nasty weapons to use in order to smash up or deflect these asteroids inbound to impact with Earth. This is an article on the Express UK. It's not a farce. This is reality. This is the latest United Nations projects being put into effect. That's how scared they are of asteroid impacts towards Earth. And let's remember that in about 150 years, we have a probable potential extinction level event coming towards Earth. That's why they're hurrying to make sure they land on something and find some way to destroy it. Now, a group of scientists have announced, this is what they're planning, to create a nation in space. This nation will be independent of any country on Earth, and it will be used to defend the whole planet Earth against asteroid attacks and make space travel more accessible. Let me read that again. Quote,